Namaste and a very warm welcome Star Educator Awards Gala from Learning Matters. I'm Saraswati, one of the co-founders at Learning Matters, and it is my privilege to be your host this evening. The Star Educator Awards are a one-of-a-kind, unique event that recognize and celebrate exceptional educators who have gone and continue to go out of their way and above and beyond to make learning memorable and impactful for their students. Educators who have transformed learning and the lives of their learners. Team Learning Matters is extremely proud to host this annual event that sees international participation, as you will see very shortly. So I'd like to tell you a very little bit about who we are. When you're at an event that's being hosted by Learning Matters, naturally, you will want to know who we are and what we do. We are an education technology organization headquartered out of Bangalore, India. And what is it that we do? We train teachers and we provide tools to teachers. We're all about teachers. Our passion, our energy, our enthusiasm, what we work for, everything is directed towards teachers, towards educators. We believe very passionately, and I believe, if I may humbly say so very correctly, that teachers are at the core of the education system. And if anyone, an individual or an organization, wishes to make long-lasting and sustainable, impactful change in the way our students learn and in their learning outcomes, that can be achieved only when we work with the educators, when we empower educators and enable them with the right support and the tools. Education is a game changer. This is a beautiful quote, and it is a quote not by someone famous, but this is actually the ethos and the very heart and soul of what Learning Matters does. We do believe that education is a game changer, and we do everything in our power to equip those, the teachers, who make education a game changer for their students. We make sure that all that we do focuses on this. So I just wanted to quickly share this. And how do we do this? How do we build teacher competency? Very quickly, we have a multi-pronged approach. We have a very comprehensive competency training for teachers that focuses on building their knowledge on pedagogy, classroom management, teaching strategies, teaching techniques, child development, curriculum design. So that's Star Teacher, our teacher competency program. We also have our virtual voice teacher, Tara, that teaches communicative English to both adults and learners, because as we all know, this is a global world now, and with borders shrinking and with people moving more and more into the online space, remote working, remote collaboration is the norm. And to be able to successfully work with people all over the country and all over the globe, knowledge of English is a must. Being able to successfully communicate in English with others has become very much a must. And finally, we also have activity kits for teachers and students that brings about activity-centered teaching and learning, and that's our toolbox. We're very proud to say that we've had the opportunity to work with more than 10,000 students and teachers across so many different states of India. We're also very proud to say that we are partners with the Karnataka government, with the Ministry of Human Resource Development, with Diksha platform, as well as with the UK government, and with Tamil Nadu Open University. And equally privileged to be working with such esteemed institutions as Don Bosco, Holy Cross, Ashok Leyland Schools, Tata Technologies, Tamil Nadu Open University, as I mentioned before, and so many others. So we absolutely enjoy working with the educators in all of these institutions. This is just a snapshot of who we work with. And finally, coming to the reason why we're all here together on a lovely Friday evening, the Star Educator Awards 2021. as I mentioned before. This is an annual event hosted by Learning Matters. It is an attempt, our humble attempt, to bring recognition to those teachers, principals, education leaders, as well as institutions, not just in India, but across the globe, that are truly making, doing notable work, doing tireless efforts to bring about significant change in how learners are learning, educators who are making impactful change. And this is our humble attempt every year to throw the spotlight on them, to show them to the world, and to have the world join us in celebrating these wonderful individuals and institutions. So without much ado, because I know we have a very, very packed evening, and we'd like to get straight away into announcing the awards. But before that, while we speak of the evening, today, of course, the theme of today's evening is overcoming adversity, why education and educators matter. And of course, we all agree that indeed they do. And the last 1.5 years worldwide has shown that adversity can come in so many different forms when you least expect it. And while educational institutions world over had to struggle and deal with this new normal, we have seen so much resilience, we have seen so much grit, we have seen so much strength in educators and institutions worldwide, and our respect to them and to all of you who are in the field of education. In the similar way, as we have seen so many overcome adversities, so also we are very thrilled to share that our voice teacher Tara enables educators to overcome challenges. And I'd like to share some very inspiring lines from the people who have used Tara and show you what it means to them. So a very quick look at that.
That learning matters, on the other hand, is not like the other is there. Genuinely, they are extremely dedicated to ensure that the lives of the children are touched.
And as far as Tara is concerned, wow, she's a hard taskmaster. She literally makes you eat. That is what the essential part of that learning. Any language for that matter, continuous practice. You have to go over and over again. That is listen, repeat, that has to happen.
During this interaction with Alexa, it was very useful device for everybody. Our trainees has improved a lot their confidence and their speaking level. So thank you so much for providing this opportunity to our trainees.
I learned many things from Tara, making sentences, new words with meaning, fill in the blanks, how to pronounce sentences quickly. To Learning Matters to giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
வந்து அவங்களோட கான்ஃபிடென்ட் லெவல் வந்து அதிகரிச்சிருக்கு நிறையா. இன்னொன்று ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்கிட்ட பேசுகிறாங்க, இன்னொன்று அவங்களுக்கு தான் அந்த கிளாஸில் இருந்து இங்கிலீஷ் பேசணுங்கிற ஆர்வம் வந்து ஒருத்தருக்கு ஒருத்தர் டீச்சர்ஸே இங்கிலீஷில் பேசிக்கிறாங்க. முன்னாடி நிறைய மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் இருக்கும், அது இல்லை, நல்லா பண்ணுறாங்க.
Okay, that was a little bit at how Tara has helped educators and students overcome so many different challenges when it comes to English. So as our virtual voice teacher Tara has inspired and enabled so many to overcome adversity, so also has our very first award winner of this evening. The very first award category that we will be announcing is the Champion of Education. A little bit about this award. This award honors or recognizes an outstanding individual or group who work tirelessly to give teachers and learners opportunities to succeed. Through their dedication and commitment, they have significantly improved the lives of teachers and learners. And the Champion of Education Award goes to Ms. Maitri Shivaraman, who works with an organization called Effective Intervention in the Gambia, West Africa. And I'm thrilled to say that she is our very first international award winner. And I would just like to say that the Learning Matters family is thrilled to be able to have an educator that we can recognize from a different continent. And I just want to say, before I hand over the floor to Ms. Maitri, that we received thousands of nominations, all of them, each one in their own right, truly inspiring, truly amazing, truly incredible. But as you know, the jury can only pick one. Their work was not easy at all. They had a very, very tough time. It was with great difficulty that they had to pick one winner in each. We had, requests from the jury for, can we have 10 honorable mentions? And of course, that would be nice at some point of time. But just want to say that for every award category, we'd like to acknowledge our respect to all the wonderful nominations that came in. And without further ado, let me introduce Ms. Maitri Shivaraman. She works in rural Gambia, West Africa, as the National Program Coordinator of Effective Intervention. She co-authored a research article in partnership with LSHTM in the Journal of Development Economics titled, "How Much Can We Remedy Very Low Learning Levels in Rural Parts of Low-Income Countries?" As the pioneer program leader, she conducts professional development training on behalf of the University of Cambridge. Her focus is to strengthen the efforts that address the quality of learning. She has a track record of training a large team of teachers in India and Gambia. Personally, she is an advocate for minimalism as well as eco-friendly and mindful living. Congratulations, Maitri, and I now welcome you to address and inspire our audience. If you could please unmute yourself and turn on your video, that would be great.
Thank you so much, Saraswati. Pleasure. Really, thanks a lot for Learning Matters. I would like to thank the whole team who've been coordinating this whole event. Congratulations on such a lovely idea of acknowledging educators. Somebody was asking me what motivates me. The one thing that motivates me is always children, the children's smiles. And education is key for everything. When we want to do the best for our children, we always strive to give our best, right? And then the challenges, yes, we do have a lot of challenges, but what focuses us is, there's one friend of mine who said, who's a fan of Buddhism, she said, challenges is a way to propel yourself to the best. Any obstacle when it comes, when you look at it like that, it becomes very interesting. And also, if you don't have challenges, you can as well be dead, right? Being alive itself is facing challenges in a very positive way. When I was looking at your presentation about Learning Matters, the beauty of Learning Matters, and which interested me to, be part of this, is how you align your mission towards training teachers, which is so key. I think COVID by now has taught us that without changes in teaching, technology, online classes has just proven the point that teachers have to continuously learn, right? We've always had teachers who know content knowledge, as we call in pedagogy. Everybody has content knowledge, but the pedagogic content knowledge, where the teacher has to know how to teach a subject, is very, very key. And that can be learned only by continuous training. I feel that teachers should all upgrade themselves continuously. Learning is continuous if you want to be part of education. And thanks a lot. This award means a lot. It just brings back the idea that how I started as a teacher, and now to see that the work has been acknowledged by Learning Matters is truly, truly very humbling, motivating as well to do more. Thanks a lot to your entire team.
You're very welcome, Maitri, and thank you so much. I know that you identify so much with the ethos of Learning Matters because you yourself for decades now have been working towards enabling teachers, and you have a unique perspective to it because you work with teachers in both rural as well as urban Africa. And so you are very uniquely positioned to understand challenges in both. So once again, congratulations, Maitri. We are thrilled. Thank you for being here. I know it's very late in the night for you, but yet you are here with all your energy and smiles. Thank you so much. And we look forward to further interactions with you soon.
Thank you so much, Saraswati. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And from one inspirational person on to the next. Our next award category is Excellence in Teaching Social Studies or Humanities. This award recognizes an educator who makes the study of people and the world interesting and engaging. From hands-on activities to innovative methods of teaching, this educator truly brings the world to the learners. And I'm very, very thrilled to say that the award goes to Miss N.S. Lakshmi Sengupta of Bombay Scottish School, Powai in Maharashtra. Miss Lakshmi, I know you're here. And could you please, there you are. Could you please, yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you so much. Actually, I've penned every detail. The list is long because I want to thank many people. And so that I would be reading at times. So please don't take offense. I just start. Yeah, thank you so much. So I start. Scoot Hayden once said, and I quote, "Teachers have three loves, love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first two loves together." I completely agree with him. Good evening, everyone. I stand truly humbled before you as I receive this award given to me in appreciation of my contribution to the teaching of social studies. I want to thank God Almighty for having brought me to this juncture in life. The success of an individual requires a collective effort, and so it is only right that I acknowledge the contribution of all those who have helped me reach this far. I would like to first thank my principal, Ms. Jane Kotian, for her constant guidance and kind cooperation, my colleagues for their encouragement, my family, my friends for their constant support, and my students for their unconditional love and faith that they have always shown. Special thanks to the various teaching communities that I'm a part of. We all came together, diminishing global boundaries to help, share, and uplift one another. And I am surely one of the biggest beneficiaries of this movement. These sessions actually empowered me with the skill sets that I needed to create a happy learning environment, even in an online setup. I often remind my students that they must stay undeterred, unfazed by the challenges and work towards overcoming every obstacle, though both individual and in a collaborative manner. The past year, I had to actually lead by example. There were times when I wanted to call it quits, but the next day, a single smile from a single student was enough to keep me going and to remind me why I pursued this vocation in the first place. Many, many thanks to Learning Matters. Yes, learning does matter a lot, for providing a platform to showcase the efforts of the teaching community and for appreciating the same. I have seen Tara when I have done my Diksha courses, always waiting to help. This recognition has actually motivated me to continue and strive harder, and has also provided me the much required impetus to aim for excellence in the field of education. I would also like to end with a quote stating, William Butler Yeats said, "Education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." I tend to be the torch that would keep the flame of learning alive and light the many young minds that will cross my path in their pursuit of knowledge. Thank you so much, Learning Matters.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lakshmi, for those wonderfully inspiring words. Yes, absolutely. I think we can truly come together and change perspectives and change lives if we all think of ourselves as the torch bearers. Yes. And if we all think of ourselves as powerful instruments that can pass the light on from one learner to the other. So I completely agree with you. And just for our audience, I also quickly want to mention that Miss Lakshmi is a passionate teacher. What's interesting is she quit her comfortable corporate job to pursue her passion in teaching. And so we commend you for following your passion and for keeping your mind always open to learning new things and for passing that passion on to your students. Congratulations once again.
Thank
And
you so much.
we're so thrilled to have you here. And we look forward to very many interactions with you coming up.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
And on to the next inspiring person that we are honoring today. Excellence in Digital Innovation is our next category. This category honors an educator who uses technology in any form or shape to make learning interesting and promote meaningful, resourceful, and safe use of technology among learners. We all know and we all agree that the use of technology has seen a huge spike in the last 1.5 years. How much of that use is meaningful, how much of that use has been safe, has been relevant and meaningful to our students is another matter altogether. We would need days to debate that. But without further ado, let me present to you the winner of Excellence in Digital Innovation is Ms. Bhavna Garg from Tagore International School, Vasant Vihar, Delhi. And a quick note, Ms. Bhavna is the head of the Information and Technology Department at her school. She conducts trainings and workshops for teachers to empower them with the use of technology and to make the process very joyful for them. Among many other skills and certifications, she's a certified Adobe creative educator, a G Suite expert, a STEM educator, and so on and so forth. The list is endless. She's always striving to make her students move from being passive consumers of technology to being active creators. Congratulations, Ms. Bhavna. I now invite you to address and inspire our audience here. Ms. Bhavna, are you able to? There you are. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jury and Learning Matters Private Limited, for bestowing me with this prestigious award. Thank you for recognizing and appreciating my journey so far as an educator. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to people who walked beside me in this journey of mine, my parents, my biggest support system, and my mentor school, Tagore International School, Vasant Vihar, where I actually kind of started my career, and it has a major role in my growth as an educator. Now, I was drawn to this profession because I wanted to work closely with and understand and probably rightfully mold young minds who are shaping the future for us. Technology is, one thing which benefits, where the benefits and risk go hand in hand. It is a very, very, you will say, risky bridge we are walking on. So in recent times, all the more the role of technology cannot, be highlighted more. Especially the last 18 months have been challenging, and all kinds of challenges and adversities in the field of education we educators faced. But kudos, loud cheer for the teacher community. You stood up and came out victorious in this challenge. It is not easy to use new technologies every day, and that too under the scenario of a big boss, where everything you say and do is recorded and analyzed and evaluated. Here, I would also acknowledge the support and hand-holding by organizations like Learning Matters, apart from the giants like Google, Adobe, Microsoft, who came up with sophisticated tools and, were generous enough to give a trial version or a free version for some time for the teacher community to try out and ease the education process for everybody. I'm sure the camaraderie between the teachers and the students must have strengthened in these trying times. Sometimes it does get stressful and overwhelming, but what keeps an educator going is a gentle smile, a loud laughter sometimes, which is shared in the class, a sudden hug from the students, or the trust with which your students confide in you. No other profession can promise you this on daily basis. And to top it all, felicitations like these boost the morale and reaffirms that we are moving in the right direction. I thank you once again and congratulate all my fellow teacher community and the winners. And I hope I will continue to prove myself worthy of this honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bhavna. Everything that you said about what motivates educators to keep going, I know you are absolutely spot on when you said everything that you said about the challenges that educators have faced and how, what motivates us to keep going. The resilience and the grit that educators have comes from our students, comes from the smiles that we get from them, comes from seeing that you've made a difference. You're absolutely right when you say that, and I'm so thankful that you brought that point up. I also love that you sort of appreciated the entire teaching community for doing what they have done in the last 1.5 years. It's been incredibly tough. I always say that I believe that our educators are also frontline warriors, because holding the future of so many students in their hands is such a huge responsibility. And I know we know, and the entire Learning Matters family knows, that each one of you has had to do so much, has had to unlearn, relearn, learn so many new things in order to keep up with the new situation, the new normal. And our salute to all of you. So thank you so much, Ms. Bhavna. Congratulations once again. And we will look forward to many more interactions with you in the future. Thank you. From that on to excellence in teaching children with special needs. This award honors an educator who has made a difference in the lives of learners who are differently abled. This committed educator refuses to take not possible for an answer and makes learning joyous and impactful for those children who truly need something different, something special for them. And without further ado, we are very, very happy to announce that the award goes to Ms. Sandhya Ukalkar of Jai Vakil Foundation Autism Center. Let me quickly check to see if Ms. Sandhya is here. And I do not, unfortunately, see her here. And that is such a pity. But I would like to go ahead and quickly introduce her to you. Ms. Sandhya is among a few people who have the capacity to deal with adversity in a way that inspires others around them. She is the mother of a child who was diagnosed with autism and intellectual disability at the age of 5. A woman with strong willpower, she decided to educate herself on the special needs required by such children and started her journey with Jai Vakil Foundation in 1996 and is now the principal of the Jai Vakil Autism Center. She constantly strives to find new ways of engaging children with special needs and has started new programs at the foundation, such as digital learning programs, animal therapy, and skating. So congratulations, Ms. Sandhya. We would have loved to hear your thoughts and to hear what inspires you as an educator so that we in turn could be inspired. And I wish we all had an opportunity to listen to Ms. Sandhya, but hopefully we will be able to do so at some future event. And with that, we come to excellence in creative teaching. Although, there are many who would argue that the entire last 1.5 years, each and every educator has had to be extremely creative and get really creative at so many different things, from how to teach effectively online to how to engage your students online to how to deal with this whole new world of remote teaching. So we do understand that. And the award for excellence in creative teaching, we're very happy to announce that it goes to Ms. Taseem Saifuddin Shibam from MSP Education Institute in Maharashtra. A very quick note about Ms. Taseem. The award recognizes an educator who goes the extra mile to make learning fun, interesting, and long-lasting. This educator is inventive, resourceful, imaginative, and full of new ideas to keep learners engaged. Ms. Taseem is a science teacher with 28 years of experience under her belt. A passionate teacher, she's very open to learning new things and keeping herself updated. Her passion for teaching has led her to always take up new courses so that she can then understand newer strategies that she can implement with her children, with her students. Her creative ways of explaining science concepts have also received recognition from the British Council. Congratulations, Ms. Taseem. I now invite you to address and inspire our audience. And I do see that you are here. Please, could you unmute yourself and turn your video on?
Good morning to all. And to begin with, I would like to express my deep gratitude to one and all of the jury for considering me worthy enough for this award. In harsh time like this, when everything has gone for a toss and the world has come to stand still, education sector has courageously figured out the ways to keep it going. There were hurdles and struggles, but we teachers took it sportingly for the love of profession and the children. I know a lot of us, our fraternity, were initially practically scared. How will we go about with the online teaching with those challenges? But now we have ace on all the apps. You name it and we boss it. Having said that, I too was full of challenges. I was scared of virtual teaching, internet connection, hazards, and getting accomplished to a completely new mode of teaching. I couldn't imagine myself teaching without my children in front of me. So yes, it was a difficult task for me. But one thing that kept me going was my will to able to teach effectively and efficiently despite the problem. And as they say, when there is a will, there was a way. And I also pulled up my socks and got on board with greater zeal and enthusiasm, so that nothing hinders the young minds, not even the pandemic. I took this opportunity to sharpen my horns and also to use commonly found things at home of the student so that I can utilize them for their activities on hands-on. This made learning fun, for them. And hence they were always engaged. They were not glued to the stage, glued to their seats. They were busy going about and doing things at home, which I really want my children to do. And therefore, hence it is proved that one does not require a hi-fi school lab or hi-fi apparatus to teach a child. When you really want to impart the knowledge, you can do so if you have got a strong desire to do so. And at the end, I would like to conclude that I'm proud to be a part of this noble profession, because yes, this profession affects a lot of humankind. And I would really like to thank this platform for rewarding teachers and encouraging us. These awards actually encourages us so that we can do even more better in the field of education. So thanks again, once again, Star Educator Award. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tasim. Yes, you're absolutely right in everything that you said. If one has resolve and determination, you can indeed do anything and move mountains. And I really love how you so beautifully admitted that, how you are yourself sort of, worried about the challenges with the shift to online learning. And I really like how you said, no, I decided I have to pull up my socks. And, I'm always going to remember the way in which you said that, because even when you said that now, I could sense that determination in your voice and how you said it. You're absolutely right. We all have to pull up our socks, and that's what Learning Matters is also here for. We're here to help all educators and institutions who have the resolve, who have the determination to create genuine impact in students, people such as you, institutions who have the same resolve. We're here to enable all of you to collectively pull up those socks together. So thank you so much. Congratulations once again, and we look forward to many more interactions with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, okay. And having met such inspirational people, without a lot of ado, we move into the very next section where we welcome our wonderfully inspiring guest speaker for today, Dr. Malvika Iyer. And I see that she's here. Welcome, Dr. Iyer. I will quickly do a quick introduction before I open the floor to our conversation. Dr. Malvika Iyer was just 13 years old when she survived a gruesome, for lack of any other words, bomb blast. At a tender age, she lost both her hands and severely damaged both her legs. Despite being bedridden for 2 years, she had the resolve and the grit to appear for her exams, topped her 10th grade and scored 97% with just 3 months of preparation. Today, she stands here before us as an award-winning disability rights activist with a doctorate in social work. She's also an international motivational speaker, a corporate trainer, a TEDx speaker. It would take me a week to get through all that she does. A model for accessible fashion, a global shaper, which is an initiative of the World Economic Forum. She's also on the advisory board of the India Inclusion Foundation. I get tired just saying all of that, and she stands there every day smiling and doing all of that. She is a powerful advocate for inclusion, gender, and child rights. Her words, all that she says, all that she speaks about all of these various topics have helped, I think, the world in general to change the way it looks at all of these issues. It helps the world, it helps powerful decision makers to then change their perspectives on what needs to be done in all of these different areas to make significant policy change. That's exactly what matters. I truly can't think of anyone better than Dr. Malvika Iyer to talk about overcoming adversity. Welcome, Dr. Iyer. We are truly thrilled and honored to have you. I'd also like to go on record and say that I'm personally a huge fan of yours, so for years. And it's just amazing to have you here with us. And of course, to hear your thoughts on all of these different issues. There's just so much that we can talk about adversity. And I think there's no one better than you to do that. So I'll just give you a minute to just quickly just say hello to the audience before we dive into the questions. And I know we have so many things to ask you.
Thank you so much, Saraswati. I think it's been a pleasure connecting with you. This is such a unique event. A lot of my events focus, on motivational speaking or different kind of sessions, but this particular event, dedicated to teachers, and I think they are probably the first set of people after our parents that we meet, and the people who have the power to change our mindset. So I think it is very important to celebrate teachers, and I have personally been groomed, and the number of mentors that I've had who have helped me realize my potential and who have supported me knowing my capacity. So I think they do a tremendous job, teachers, and I'm very glad that you to be a part of such a wonderful event where you celebrate them. So thank you for inviting me, and a big hi and a big hug to all the wonderful educators here, and thank you for shaping the future of our country.
Yeah, and I think what you said at the very end is the critical factor, right? I mean, they truly do shape the future of the world. So, Dr. Iyer, to get into our questions, I'd like to start with obviously the theme for this year's the awards, and I think it's been the theme of the last 2 years in general around the world, just adversity and challenges. You are a living, breathing example of overcoming adversity, which comes in many forms and shapes. The past 1.5 years sort of exemplify it. What would you say are the top 3 things that help any one of us sort of reconcile with and deal with adversity? I'm very careful when I say reconcile and deal with. I don't like to use the words, fighting or overpowering adversity, because not everyone can realistically overpower or overcome adversity. It's not a realistic situation. The reality is that we first need to accept adversity, accept the challenge that's come our way, and then work through it step by step. So you tell us, how do we do this?
So I think for me, I have strongly believed in the word attitude. I think that's the first point that I want to share here, that there is no way that any of us here have the capacity to control lives. We are not, nobody has a superpower to control their lives or press reset or press rewind. But what we do have control over is our attitude, is our mindset. And I think when we face adversity, for me, that's what I have learned, that to have the right attitude, it doesn't have to be a great, sugar-coated positive attitude or anything. You just need to know that this is, And that's something also my mother frequently tells me. She's also here in this group. She tells me that, you know, it is not how it is not what challenges, or it is basically how we face our challenges, or our response to these challenges, these adversities, is that's what matters most. So I think attitude, number one, and that's completely our decision. So I think the first point I would want to say is our attitude. And if we know how to keep forward despite the challenges that come our way, I think we can achieve whatever we want to. And another thing, next thing I want to share here is, I think constantly, you know, there's a battle between success and failure. So when we start something, a project, or when we get into anything new, we just know that there are only two outcomes, you know, either we succeed or we fail. But I don't think that's true, because constantly, what is the opposite of success? Like, you're losing. If you're losing, then you think that you're a failure. But that is never true. For me, I have learned that when you give up, you know, when you give up in the face of adversity, or when you refuse to try, when you even refuse to come out of your comfort zone and try, I think that is losing. So that is called failing. That is the real failure. So the opposite of success, I would say, is when somebody refuses to, you know, try. So never giving up after attitude, I would say, is the next quality if one has to, you know, overcome adversity. And think of it strongly, that, you know, losing, you know, even if you lose, you give up, you know, you try again and again, you give up, and then you try again. Even if you lose, you have done it, you know. And for me, that was the case. For me, I was never going to be able to walk. My doctors had completely given up on my legs. And it's the determination of wanting to try again and again, and I did not want to give up at the stage. So I would say that is what really matters when we face adversity. And the third point, I would say, to face adversity, I think if we all have a great sense of humor, even, you know, in the face of the worst traumatic events. For me, my mom, I think she's a great source of inspiration for me to make, like, you know, when sometimes, you know, we are writing something, or we are doing some work, and we are overwhelmed or burdened by the work. And Tamil, I think we say, idu kai vittu poyittu. So I often say that, idu kai vittu poyittu amma, and then she'll be like, onakku na kaiye illaya, adu enga pogum. So she makes such snarky remarks about my hands that it became a joke for us. The word hand has become a joke in our household, and it's very easy afterwards. After, I have many such examples of, you know, this humor that has helped us. And I think, you know, attitude, the power, you know, not giving up, and then humor. I think if we have these three, anyone can face any adversity that comes in their lives.
I think that's amazing. And I love how you brought humor as being one of the top three things that one needs to overcome challenges. Frequently, it's the last thing anyone thinks about, right? You can't even think of laughing, leave alone smiling. And, you know, it's considered, how can you do that in such a situation? But I think it's very true. And I think, you know, connecting your first one and the last one, you know, when you say it is in our hands to, excuse the phrase again, it is in our hands to choose how we react to something. And if we can choose to make humor a part of it, right, I think it can truly change the situation immediately for ourselves and those around us, because adversity can become very toxic for an individual who internalizes it, and for those around them. So thank you so much for sharing that, and for reminding us that it's perfectly okay, not just perfectly okay, but it's needed. Humor is needed. Thank you. And I just love that little anecdote that you shared about your mom and you, about what you said. And for those who may not understand Tamil here, would you like to explain what that meant, that little anecdote?
Yes, so I think in Hindi, that is called, like, you can say something like, ye to haath se chala gaya, you know, when something goes out of control. So when a situation or work that you are doing, it goes out of control. So that's basically, you know, often we use the term, ye to haath se chala gaya, kai vittu poyittu. So that's what I'm trying to say here.
Yes, thank you so much. I'd like to move slightly. I know you've already, in the very beginning, spoken about the importance of teachers, but you have very openly credited your education for playing a huge role in who you are today, right? The Dr. Malvika Iyer that we all see, that we all love and we all admire so much. You've openly said several times that your education is what has brought you here. What is the tangible impact that education has had on you?
So when the accident happened, I was a 13-year-old girl. I had just entered my ninth grade. So I was in North India. So we have the system of 2 months of, any starting of the school, and then we have a long summer break, and then the class continues. So my accident happened during, after the 2 months, I had already completed my ninth grade, and it was during the summer break. So I was not in a position to join school after that, because people do see that I have lost my hands, but the severity of my injuries didn't stop there. My legs were completely crushed. I had multiple fractures, nerve paralysis, loss of sensation. So it was a gory mess, my legs. And I was bedridden for about 18 months. So I had to miss all of my ninth grade, and almost so the period of bedridden that I was, that it was almost reaching my 10th grade, almost 3/4 of my 10th grade. So when I was in Chennai, so accident happened in Rajasthan, but I was in Chennai because that's where my grandparents lived, and my mom brought me for further treatment. I realized that when I was communicating with my friends back home, she was telling me about how everyone is preparing for their 10th grade, and we all know in India especially, 10th grade is like a milestone year. I think everyone from their first grade, they work towards 10th grade. And, I was in a position that I will not be able to attend 10th grade. And that would mean that I have to repeat, or I was just so overwhelmed by the idea of not being able to write the one exam that we all look forward to. And that's when so there is this wonderful coaching center, Arul Coaching Center, which was fortunately just 2 streets behind my place in Chennai, where I lived. And the teacher, the head of the institute, a wonderful teacher, I think that's where my journey towards education began. So when we approached, I told my mom, so it was just an idea. I told her that, there is we can write privately. A cousin of mine had already appeared privately. So, there's a system that if you clear 8th, you can write 10th. And I asked mom that if we can take advantage of that, because I don't want to be wasting an academic year. I just don't want to be left out when everyone else is doing that. So that decision, combined with the support of my family, and then when I reach out to that teacher, a wonderful thing that the teacher said was, we will help you, but it will not be possible to home tutor you. You will have to come to the coaching center. And I think that was, at the time, it seemed inconvenient, but that's what helped me, because I was, sitting with my peers, and I was learning with people my age. And that was the first time I came out of my comfort zone. The first time I was facing the world with a different body that I had then. And I completed my 10th grade with all the support I could garner from this coaching center. And I think the result that I got a state rank. I got a 97%. In fact, all my life, I have been a person who scores between 75 and 80. But for, I think all I did was study. And then the marks that I got, and the overwhelming response that I received, that's when I realized that I had not lost everything. Because I remember I was a trained classical dancer. I loved doing art and craft. So, having lost all of that to the accident, and because I cannot do it with my hands, education was one thing that I had. And it was not that, I just think that it became like my source of strength at the time. And I immediately, when I got my marks, and then I told my mom that I want to continue education, and I love the city, Chennai. So I joined regular school, and then, dreaming higher and higher, I wanted to study economics in St. Stephen's. Then my mom introduced me to social work. So then I did double masters and then a PhD. So I think all of this, the confidence, I think it was just that starting step of giving that 10th exam, and then the confidence that I gained. And, having learned not just about, I think not just about my personal experience, but to be an advocate for person with disabilities. My research my MPhil research, my PhD research, all that is what helped me, I think, to do the work that I'm doing now. And I don't think all this would have happened without I would say at the platform that I got, having continued my education. So I think I am here today, this person, because of having the opportunity to pursue my education, and I think it's all because of that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. You're talking about all these different things that you go through, and it sounds almost impossible to even think of such challenges, and yet you've shown us that it is possible. And I just want to point out, one single thing that you said about how you're equating education with confidence, and I think that is absolutely right. Education, sort of bestows the individual with confidence, and then the confidence to that then translates down generations of that family, right? Once you have a single person who's made it, has been educated, then the trajectory for not only that person but the entire family and generations just truly change. So thank you so much for reminding us that education is so critical for something as what we consider to be very basic, but confidence truly can be the one thing that changes someone's life, right? So thank you so much for talking about that. And when we speak of education, how can we not speak of educators, right? Could you share with us the important role played by the educators, your teachers in your life? And I know you've had very many teachers, having done your double masters and then your PhD and all of that. How has your life transformed because of the educators in your life?
I think so. The first person that I did mention in my earlier answer, Arul sir. So I think for him giving me the platform, not saying that no, you have not had, like, you have not even done your 9th grade yet, and imagine him rejecting me or saying something that would not give me the platform. So I think it starts from him for giving me the platform to be able to continue my education, even though I did not have the resources, or I could not even walk 5 steps. So I think it starts from there, for him to give me that platform. And then my second wonderful experience was during my 11th and 12th, and that was my first time being a part of inclusive education. I was a person with disability, and I was the only person in my school. This was Anna Adarsh in Chennai, where I studied. And I was not treated differently in any way by my teachers. In fact, they realized that, they understood my potential. And I think I received a wonderful, the kind of support system I got, that, because I needed to have a writer for my exam. So, from all the little things to just letting me be a part as normal as they would treat any other student. So all of that really mattered to me. It may be a small thing for them, but for me to not be discriminated because of my disability, I think the teachers in the initial stage who helped me build that confidence, I think that was very important. And I still remember my economics teacher in 12th grade is who inspired me to take up economics further in my master's, in my bachelor's. And then we meet so many teachers in our lives. It's like every step of the way, I think I have been helped and shaped. And my my MPhil, my thesis supervisor in my MPhil and PhD from Madras School of Social Work, that's where I did my MPhil and PhD. I think I am very fond of my PhD supervisor because he completely understood that what my strengths are, because every PhD student is supposed to do there are so many things that you're supposed to be a part of, so many activities, but he realized that there's only so much I can do, and he ensured that I shined. Like, I was very good at speaking, so I used to get all these invitations, and he made that a part of my workshop submission, instead of actually going from place to place and conducting it, because he realized that it was not possible for me to do it. So I think it is amazing when teachers take such personal interest in you. And I would definitely say I was a special child, because I needed the extra love and support, and they gave me that. And I think I am very, very blessed to have had these wonderful teachers from my school till my doctorate. And I'm glad that I got that support. And even I fear, because I have heard some of my friends, even my husband, there are people, so many people share about negative experiences. So I am very lucky to have had the right the mentor that I needed, the mentors. And I think these are the teachers that I will forever be thankful for helping me shaping my future.
Yes, I mean, it's everything that you said is so true. An educator has so much power to change a student's ideas, thoughts, attitudes, perspectives, everything. I mean, if we think back to the subjects we loved, the subjects we didn't like in school, if you really dig deeper, it's probably because of that particular teacher. Probably something the teacher said that didn't gel with you, or then you immediately decided, and a very frequent thing, we all love to hate. Okay, I should say I love to hate math, and I know many people love to hate math. But if you think back to it, probably somewhere there's some element of the teacher coming in. But teachers truly have so much power to change so much, and that's why we focus so much on the teachers here at Learning Matters. And you're absolutely right, they can sort of make or break futures, right? So yes, like as I was saying, at Learning Matters, we passionately believe that the only way to create any kind of sustainable, long-lasting, and large-scale impact in education is by working with the teachers, by giving them the right training, the right tools, because they're almost all of them are in there because they genuinely want to make a change, but sometimes they want to do better, but they don't know how, right? A single teacher can change the lives of thousands of students, and I know you agree with this. I won't ask you if you agree with this because you've already said a lot, but I will ask, I do want to ask you to add, what do you think about the impact of educators in society as a whole?
Yes, I think this would just be adding on to, like, for me, for as an individual, I think I'm a byproduct of that, of all this every teacher who has helped shape my attitude, or who has helped me gain the confidence that I needed. And if you see that if every individual gets that kind of a support, so I think at the end, so I feel grateful for what I am able to do in return. So my accident happened, I needed to overcome so many adversities, and then I had the support of teachers, and I was able to pursue my education without any hindrance, and without being told that no, you don't get to study anymore because you're a disabled person. So all of that was never in the picture. And today I would say that with the difference that I am able to make, or the work that I am able to do being an advocate, or even any project that I undertake, I think each such individual that the teachers shape, I have seen, and I have even personally known so many people who in turn are making such a huge difference. So I think it's that's what I think. There's a very old quote, right? I mean, you teach somebody to fish, and then I think it goes something like that: you give somebody a fish, they eat for that day. Then you teach someone how to fish, and you have so it is just like that. So it is perhaps all the individuals who have been impacted by the great teachers, and I think that is what shapes the future of our community. And each such individual, after, if they step up and work towards making their own society better, I think there is nothing, I think that's the greatest reward. And that's what my teachers, many of them have connected with me on Facebook in the last couple of years, and they tell me that they are so proud. I know they taught me several years ago, but they come and tell me that they are so proud of what I'm doing now. And it makes me believe that they're also a part of it. Everyone who has everyone is a part of my story, and if I'm doing something now, everyone's effort matters. And that's what it I would say it means. You're literally changing the society by shaping even a single mind if you're doing that.
Absolutely, absolutely, really beautifully expressed. And you truly are a global citizen. You've traveled, you travel all over the world. I think there's no part where you have no part of the world that you haven't inspired or haven't motivated. You are able to, with your words, change the world's perspectives, change their views, change their ways of thinking on gender, on the importance of education, and many other critical issues, right? Inclusion, inclusive education. and I personally believe that each time you or people like you choose to speak out and choose to say something and put yourself out there, the world changes for the better every single time, right? Because even if we're able to impact two people and who change their way of thought, then what, that is tremendous impact that we've created. What is the role that your communication skills play in this? Because you're such a, like I said, a global citizen, and you're able to your access to people around the world. What would you say? What is the role that your communication skills have in that?
I think very, very important. I think that is the one skill but I would say that there are so many. I think just communication skills, it's such a broad term, but then there's so much in it. I think for me, the ability to listen to people, it's always not about speaking. Sometimes we even need to listen as to what is being said and how we can help someone. And then beyond that, there is empathy, and there is showing respect to the person who's talking to us. I think all this will come under the broad topic of communication. And I think we as students, we learn that at an early age. Education is one thing, but we also learn the communication that we learn, like I said, teachers are the first set of I would say adults that who we meet outside of our house. And the discipline that we are taught, and the power that we are given to communicate with our peers, how friendly we are, or all of that, showing respect, showing empathy, and showing respect to the listener, and actually giving weightage to what they are saying. So I would say all of these skills that I have learned as part of my communication skills, I would say has greatly helped me. It would not have been, because I remember when sometimes especially in the online world, it is so easy to just post a comment and just say what you're thinking. But many people don't think, or they don't read exactly what the person is writing, and they just immediately want to respond back. So there's really no listening involved. Many times we see there are comments which are so insensitive. So I feel that here is where communication skills matters the most, and that's what we learn in school, and we learn in college, that how important it is to be an active listener and to show empathy to what people are saying. And I think if all of that, when I go to platforms, not when I go around India to talk, and when I got the platform of the UN, for example, to speak and share my story, it was very important for me to have these skills with me, and be able to engage with such a wider audience, especially a world audience, someone I have never communicated with, and showing them the respect for their culture, or everything that we learn. So I would say all this has greatly helped me. And communication skills, I would say it really makes or breaks a person. And once you know that you're confident in what you're saying, and that you have the empathy to understand and listen to someone and respond appropriately, and not just say words because you need to make a point, I think that makes a lot of difference and gives weightage to what you're saying.
Sorry about that. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. Okay. Yes, absolutely. And I love how you brought in the fact that communication is not just about speaking. Probably it's more about the listening, and listening for the sake of understanding what the person on the other end is saying, respecting what they say, empathizing with what they say. Yes, these are absolutely very, very critical parts of communication. At Learning Matters, one of the things that we believe that, when teachers speak about their challenges, when teachers speak about things that they need, or when they simply just say, I don't know how to do this, or I need help, okay? And sometimes teachers don't even know how to ask for help, right? But what you said about listening really sparked this off, that I feel like there are not a lot of people listening to teachers. People listen to what the parents are always saying and complaining. We listen a lot to what students say, but I think teachers are often forgotten in all of that. And I think we're very proud to say that we do spend a lot of our time just listening to what the teachers are saying, and then trying to find them the right support for that. So I really love that you, rather than focus on the speaking, you focused on the listening part. And you're very right. In this today's age of social media and quick communication, I think sometimes people say things or type things, for the sake of creating a little bit of impact or flat. I wouldn't even say impact. I think it's more of attention seeking. But that's not genuine communication. So yes, and that's what strikes me and strikes the whole world about the way you speak, because you're so every single word is so genuine and so coming from the heart. I think all of that makes a big difference. A slightly different little spin on communication itself. I'm kind of going to make it a little more specific with my next question. But what would you say is the advantage of being able to communicate in English in today's world? Do you think you would have been able to make as much of an impact without those skills? And while I ask you this, I am very, very aware that the whole, English versus not English, there is always so much debate about it. There is so much debate. There always has been debate. But I think, on one hand, it is the legacy left behind by the British. They left, but they left English behind. It's here to stay. I think it's become the business language or the work language of sort of the urban India. And it's become the language of the world, right? I mean, how else will people sitting in India be able to communicate with people in China or anywhere else for that matter? What is your take on this? And, specifically, do you think you yourself would have been able to have this much of a global impact on people without English?
So I think I both support this statement, and I also have something extra to add for the other languages that we do, the regional languages in India. First, in terms of supporting this statement, definitely I studied in English medium throughout my school, and I may not have realized the value of that language till I started traveling around the world, and all the talks are, communicating with people who are not Indians. So that really helped me, and many times that is one question. I don't know whether it is a compliment or whether I don't take offense so easily, so I always take it as a compliment. But a lot of people that I meet in countries outside of India, they often ask me the first question that how do you speak such good English? Because it's a common misconception that we may not know in the like English that well. And then I have to tell them that it's that's the language I studied, and they're always impressed by our English speaking skills, especially Indians. They have such amazing vocabulary and grammar. So I would say that English, definitely yes, because the international platforms where I've spoken, even in countries where English was not, for example, I did give a speech in Norway, and I'm sure that there are many people who may not have known the English language, but they were able to communicate with me because everyone, I think, English being the global language. So I think it really helped me when I travel around the world. But I have read this one quote. I'm not sure if I will share exactly word by word, but it goes something like this, that if someone speaks in broken English, know that they know another language. So I think that's a very, very powerful quote, because knowing a whole different language, it's not easy. I mean, I'm from Tamil Nadu, but I grew up in North India, so I can read, write, and speak in Hindi. But I don't think I can speak Tamil fluently, but I have not been able to, learn how to read and write, because honestly, Tamil, I find it intimidating. It is so difficult. The alphabets are insanely difficult. And, to know that one day you will be able to learn this language, I'm sure that requires a lot of hard work. So, demeaning someone or putting down someone just because they don't speak fluently in English would not be fair, because they definitely do know another powerful language with which they can communicate, and people are able to communicate. I think even non-verbal cues, part of communication skills, we have been trained to understand that. So I think it would be unfair to only give opportunities, because I see in the global world now that I come across so many speakers, not everyone can speak English. So they have translators, or they try to express themselves in their broken English, and their words value. So I think, while at the same time English would be a very important medium to have easy, to be easily able to communicate, but at the same time it's also wonderful to know and write or read or speak in another language, whatever is close to your heart. And nowadays, I think everyone, not just people, have started. I learned French, I remember, in Alliance Française in Chennai, and everyone is fascinated by wanting to learn a different foreign language or a different regional language, in fact. So I think it's great that we have that kind of a platform to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, I absolutely agree with what you say. It should be, considered as sort of one way to be able to communicate successfully. I think the problem happens, or the issues start, when it's considered as a black or white, and when there is an attitude to, or when there is, or when people sort of look down upon those. But that's not the mindset that we want. What we want is to look upon English as another way to be able to successfully communicate, to be able to work with people across sort of geographical borders and all of that. And I think you're absolutely right. If we are able to enable people, sort of upskill them in their skills in English, while at the same time not changing anything about the other languages that they're learning, I think that's the happy medium that we would all strive for. So moving on from English sort of to just the perception of how people look at educators. So this event and what we do at Learning Matters, it's all to honor, recognize, and celebrate and empower educators. And we've frequently seen this at Learning Matters, that while everyone will shake their head and nod their heads and agree that yes, educators are very important, but there aren't many organizations who willingly choose to work for educators. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's not perceived as being very glamorous enough, or not really sure why. But do you have any thoughts on how this mindset, this attitude can be changed? People will agree that yes, it's important. Our educators are very important, but yet we don't seem to be doing enough to actually enable them. And there's always this gap. And any ideas or any thoughts on this?
So I do have something to say. I was thinking about this last night, and I am not sure if I am the right person or an expert on this, but my personal feeling is that I think to give the right resources. I mean, I'm sure a person, like an organization like you, when you had shared about how you provide teachers with the right learning tools or the right opportunities, the right resources. So that is one thing. But also, I think compensating teachers for their time and efforts, and giving them what's due, because teaching, I would say, really does shape a person, a child. And when I was working on my doctorate thesis, the title of my thesis was Attitude of Young People towards People with Disabilities. I studied around 1,000 young people, and I wanted to understand how their attitude changes or why they have a discriminatory attitude. So it was an attitude study. And many times, and the learnings basically focused on the fact that these attitudes are formed at a very young age. And who spends the most time with these people at young age? It's the teachers. And if it is so important, if these young students, if their attitude is so important, because of course they are going to be our future leaders, future policy makers, they are going to be the future of our country. So when their attitude matters so much, today when you see a leader in public space speaking something that's not right about, say, women's safety, or for giving equal access to people with disabilities, it must have been the attitude that they have learned. They must have been taught that people with disabilities are perhaps different, or women do not require the equal status that they should get. So these examples that's when these attitudes are formed. And who shapes them? It's the teachers. It's what we study. There's academics, but there's also the experiences. And I have had such amazing role models. I still remember my English teacher, many teachers that I have been very fond of during my school. They have been my role models. And imagine not giving them I know I have, like, I think my mother, she spent a few months teaching, and I have heard from her experience. And when I was a MPhil, I think when I was a PhD student, I was also a teacher. I taught 6 students as part of my doctorate program. teaching is not easy. Teaching is the most, I would say, difficult. Even now I feel I have a doctorate, but I'm very scared of getting into this profession, because it's a profession where you have to constantly, update yourself with the current trends. It's not a stagnant profession that, okay, you know how to fix 2 and 2, and you just can spend the rest of your life doing that. It's not. Teachers have to constantly update themselves, and now look at the pandemic, there is online learning, so they need to be, tech savvy. They need to constantly update not just their subjects. They need to know about technology. They need to know about what's the, how to take care of a student's mental health. There's so much dialogue now going around mental health. So I think literally, I mean, like, how I think the goddesses in Indian mythology we have with so many hands. So that's what I'm thinking of right now. How many fields they need to be an expert in. So it is only fair for us to understand, for them to be compensated well enough for that, or to give them the, I would say, the right kind of financial support, the right kind of resources. I think it's only fair when they are such an important part of our society. It only is fair to give them what they deserve.
And I love the fact that you brought that onto the fact that they need to be compensated, fairly compensated better for the criticality of the work that they do. But I also really love the fact that you hit the nail on the head when you said, teaching is not a stagnant profession, but almost everyone thinks that. They say that, if you started and started your career as a teacher, there's really not much that you need to keep up, relearning or upskilling yourself. But they do, and they're the group that most needs to, because every 2 years the children have different skills. Children have different teachers these days say, right, okay, we're so scared with online teaching because our students are 100 times more tech savvy than us, and imagine these teachers are scrambling to pick up new skills. So you're absolutely right, they need to constantly update themselves, upskill themselves. Thank you so much for putting the spotlight on that very critical factor, which is not something that most people think about. So yes, unless we provide a platform to enable them to learn new things that they need in their profession, how else are they going to be able to bring out the best in our children? Absolutely right. I wanted to, I know we have a few minutes left, but one thing is, moving track sort of completely back to our topic of adversity and how we can overcome adversity. Of all the qualities needed to be successful and to be resilient in the face of challenges or any kind of adversity, be it COVID, be it anything else, grit is perhaps one of the most important. Grit is not talked about as much, but I think it's one of the most important things, and I think no one knows grit better than you. What would you like to tell us about how we can cultivate, or sort of bring in grit in as a quality in each one of us?
I think grit many times. So for me, I show my life to people. Like, I am very active on social media. I share pictures about my everyday life. A lot of now, I think I have been sharing a lot for the past couple of years. So it's all the things that I have worked upon now. So, for example, I'm sharing pictures or videos of me cooking, or, me achieving something, or me receiving an award or doing something. But one must understand, because we constantly see a lot of people, we think successful. I don't know what success means to everyone, but for me, I define success as having the ability and wanting to positively influence the life of someone. I think that, to me, if you have influenced people positively, that to me would mean that I'm a successful person. And when I share these pictures, I also talk about what goes behind it. It's easy for us to see people achieving things, but everyone has a different timeline. And I have also been a victim of that. I have seen people who are doing better than me, and I wish to myself that I wish I was in that space. But each of us, for me, for example, I was a child again after my accident. So when the accident happened 2 years later, it's literally I had to relearn everything that I learned as a child, to be able to eat again with this new body that I have, to hold a spoon in between this hand. I was also fitted with prosthetic hands briefly, so to learn to write with that new hand, and to walk again. I mean, I literally had to relearn everything. So I think we humans, we are made of such, I would say, immense spirit, that I say that such perseverance, such spirit that we have, that no adversity, no challenge, or no disability can take that away from us. I think we all have that in us, and it's we owe it to ourselves to nurture that spirit. And I, many times I say this in my talk, that the accident took a lot away from me, my ability to walk like how I used to. I used to be a dancer. I miss dancing. My ability to do a lot of things with my hands. But there is one thing that the accident did not take away from me, is my spirit. And I think to cultivate that spirit is where we need that grit. And grit is not about becoming successful immediately, or just overcoming your challenges. It's a lifelong process, just like learning. And for me, it took several years. I wouldn't say I was this courageous person, or I had everything sorted after the accident. It took me several years to even accept the new body that I have now. And it took me several years to take my pictures, or it took me several years to show myself to the world that this is who I am. I used to wear prosthetic hands for the reason that I could hide my hands and people would not notice that I have different hands. So that was my reason of wearing hands for so long. So I think grit is something I know personally, and I believe that everyone has, and it's up to us that how we nurture it. And coming to talk about adversity, I think I've already talked about attitude a lot. It's my favorite word, but in the end, I would want to say that it's not the adversity in our life that defines us, but it is our reaction, our attitude to the adversity. I think that's what shapes us. So I don't want to be called a bomb blast victim. I want to be instead called a bomb blast survivor, because I have survived it. I am not a victim. I have not lost anything because of the accident. I only gained new experiences, or I have only learned, such amazing life lessons. So I think that's what grit will do to us. And we need to cherish that spirit that we have. And that's what will help make a difference in our lives.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I think, yes, we have to preserve the spirit. We have to preserve and use that to sort of cultivate the grit. Absolutely. And I, as we come to the end of our conversation, can you share your favorite quote or your favorite thoughts about adversity? Or I know you said your favorite word is attitude. So maybe I'll rephrase the question and say, could you share your favorite quote or your favorite thoughts or your go-to sort of mental about attitude to adversity?
I think the quote that I want to share is something people may have read in my interviews, but I also know that people have different opinion about it. But I will explain if someone feels differently. This quote is by this person called Scott Hamilton. It says, "The only disability in life is a bad attitude." And there are people, like I am a person with disability. I understand that I have certain physical limitations that don't let me do things that able-bodied people are able to do. But at the same time, there have been instances, for example, where I have the right support. So for example, my parents' support, I have that. I have the right financial support. I have the opportunity waiting for me. But what if that day I just decide to sit and think that, oh no, I don't have hands, or what is the point of me doing anything, or have any kind of a negative attitude, or any kind of an attitude that you're trying to, something that you're pitying yourself, or something that you feel that you're less of a person because of something. So even if I have, like, what I want to say here is, even with the right resources and the right support system, if you don't have the attitude, there is no way we can ever come out of the adversities, or that we have been, that maybe we are trapped in or something. So it's very important that's why I say that the only disability in life is not my disability, will never be my physical limitation. I never thought in this life that I'll be able to hold a knife and make paneer butter masala by myself, but I did it last year and it tasted so good. But I never imagined that I could do it. So it's disability has nothing to do with losing limbs. It has a great deal to do with our negative insecurities, our fears. So this is what I want to share before I leave, that you need to have an attitude to want to come out of any adversity that you're a part of. And if you do that, you I think sky is the limit for all of us.
Absolutely, yeah. And maybe even taking that forward a little bit, if one is, it doesn't matter if one, even if one is able-bodied, right? But if you are so held back by your own attitude, you're so held back by your own thoughts on how to react to adversity, then perhaps you could be considered way more disabled than someone who's not even able-bodied but has the right positive mindset, isn't it?
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
yes. No, thank you so much for pointing that out to us, and for sort of reminding us that sometimes the biggest disability is the one in our minds, right? And how it's very important to look past that, and that can change everything. Thank you so much, Dr. Iyer, and it was so motivating to just hear your perspectives on adversity, on education, on educators, and sort of the critical role that both of those play in everyone's life. Thank you so much for being with us today. And before you leave, I just quickly wanted to, I will go back to sharing my screen. So when we had everyone registering for this event, one of the questions on the form was about how you overcame adversity, and how, you've stated that education helped you look past certain challenges. We asked people to share, if they were willing to, how education has helped them. And so I wanted to share the top 3 responses that were deemed the most sort of motivational. And if you could just stay on until then, and take a look at those. So, all right, let me make sure I do this right without ending the meeting by mistake. Okay. Okay, so the question was, which of your greatest fears have you conquered through education? And I would like to share the very first one that was chosen as being very motivational. The first winning response belongs to Zamar Fatima, who taught her students to overcome the fear of being judged by peers. And I think this is so relevant in today's world of the social media and trying to portray yourself as something that sometimes we are not. Through personal experience, Zamar learned how debilitating this fear is, and so creates a classroom with no fear, a classroom that is inquisitive and accepting. We salute you, Zamar, for teaching your students to overcome the fear of being judged through the power of education. Congratulations. And the next one, fear of technology, so apt for today's world and for all the teachers, and we've spoken so much about this. So we have here, the second winning response comes from Krishnaveni Gurala, who overcame her own fears of using technology to teach at the very ripe young age of 55. She took on the challenge of learning new apps, learned from her own students to become a pro at online teaching. So we salute you, Krishnaveni, for not only overcoming your own fear and becoming a better teacher, but also for exemplifying that a true educator is one who is humble enough to learn from their own students. Congratulations, and thank you so much for sharing this quote. And the next one, which sort of really was very heartfelt, comes from Ayush Daran Pandit, who overcame his fear of being misunderstood or judged for not being able to converse in the majority language. And he talks about how his migration from Bihar to Maharashtra, and I know we've spoken about regional languages and all of that, for helping us see that language is just a medium. And he says so beautifully here, your point matters, not the medium. So we salute you, Ayush, for overcoming your fear of speaking up and for now being a model for others. And we also salute Ayush's mother, who he mentions in this as being his mentor and inspiration for this way of thinking. So congratulations, Ayush, and thank you so much for sharing this viewpoint. Dr. Iyer, we thank you so much for having taken the time to be with us today. And we will look forward to more interactions with you in the future. But thank you so much. There have been so many messages on chat. People just sort of pouring out their heartfelt thanks and appreciation of what you stand for, what you represent, and your attitude, which is your favorite word and also our favorite word. But people have just loved everything you've said. So thank you so much for being here with us on this event that recognizes and celebrates educators. It's made a difference to us and to all of them that you chose to be here with us today. So thank you so much, and hope you have a wonderful day and a weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love to be a part of this event, and big congratulations to everyone here. I think every teacher is truly a winner. I mean, I think for them to shape our future of our society. So thank you so much, and a big hug and congratulations to all the educators here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iyer. And after so much inspiration, can we possibly have any more? We'd like to quickly share some true stories, true heartfelt experiences from educators that Learning Matters has been very privileged and very lucky to work with, talking about how the Star Teacher program, which is our teacher training program, and talking about how Star Teacher enabled them to overcome certain challenges. And let's see if I can get this to.
Yesterday in one of the class, like just I made him to read, find out that what he has done or what she has not told, how I and compare the things. So the child just he raised his hand and told, "Ma'am, I can make out a mistake in him what he told. You told father and mother, he told mama." Like that. So they can find out their in the peer assessment, where the peer assessment would happen, so that child who read the story can overcome his mistakes or whatever it is. And the same thing happened here. Thank you, Learning Matters.
Strategies, what different types of strategies, how to inculcate the development in the children. So we are trying our level best to give them the best. So we are very thankful to have. Yeah, we will be happy in future also if you guide us in the same way.
Actually, ನಮಗೆ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಏನು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಒಂದ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪಾಠದ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರೀ ನಾವ್ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂಥರ ಬೋರ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಬರ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ, ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂಥರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂಥರ ಅದೇ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಸ್ ಗಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೇಗ ಲೆಸನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಕಡಿಮೆ.
Okay, and with that, after that inspiring look at how educators can truly flourish when they receive the right support and the right tools, we move on to the next category, which is excellence in teaching languages. This award recognizes an educator who makes languages come alive for learners. From the nuances of a language to the uniqueness, this educator enables learners to recognize and appreciate the beauty of various languages. And we're very, very happy to say that the award goes to Mr. Srinivas Arogi from Nishita Degree College. He is the HOD of English in Nishita Degree College, and with 22 years of experience, he believes that English communication skills play a significant role in the success of every student, both personally and professionally. So he encourages every student to speak in English, helps them hone their communication to gain confidence. And as a result of his dedicated efforts in upskilling his students, many have been selected by various MNCs. Many students have also secured admission in international universities for their higher education. He also has contributed a lot to English textbook publication and won many accolades from the Telangana government for his initiatives. Congratulations, Mr. Srinivas. I am not very sure that Mr. Srinivas is here with us today. I will just quickly check and see. Yeah, I do not see him here, and what a pity. We would have loved to hear from him and love to hear what keeps him going. So from languages, we make our way into mathematics, a favorite subject for many, and also a much dreaded subject for many. Excellence in teaching mathematics. This award recognizes an educator who makes mathematics come alive for learners. This educator demystifies math by helping learners understand the deeper relationship and the connection between math and everyday life. And the award goes to Dr. Pradeep Agashe, a math trainer who has worked extensively with Lend a Hand India. To give you a quick introduction, Dr. Pradeep Agashe is a veteran educator with 40 plus years of teaching experience. He has dedicated his life to mentoring and promoting mathematics, mentoring math teachers and promoting mathematics. He's known for turning maths, which is a most fearful subject, into a very easy, fun, and loved subject among children. In recognition of his exclusive teaching techniques in his career, the then Education Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Chiplunkar, advised Dr. Pradeep to quit his full-time job and spread his knowledge of maths and teaching techniques. So after quitting as a full-time math teacher in his school in 1983, he started traveling to many districts of Maharashtra, teaching and helping many children and teachers in government schools, private schools, and NGOs, and taught them how to overcome the fear of math. And his efforts in training and mentoring teachers is truly noteworthy. Congratulations, Dr. Pradeep. I invite you to address and inspire our audience. And I do believe that Dr. Pradeep has joined us. Yes, Dr. Pradeep, you can please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes.
Yes. Namaste, sir. बोलिए क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
मैं हिंदी में बोलूं या अंग्रेजी में?
आपको जिस लैंग्वेज भाषा में बात करनी हो आप उसी में बात कर सकते हैं. Absolutely no problem.
Okay. Thank you. The aim and objective of teaching is to create the interest among the students. Students love observing TV, handling mobile, but they don't like school. To create the interest, I have purposely used different media like Kirtan, Sawal Jawab, which are popular in Maharashtra. I travel in all districts of Maharashtra, and particularly I have done the work for the students with a weaker in mathematics. They have phobia about mathematics. I have tried to remove the phobia and to create the interest among the students. I'm very glad because I get this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes. Thank you. And yes, you are very right. I think बच्चों को फोबिया हो जाती है मैथ के बारे में, मैथ के विषय में. So आप बता सकते हैं आप फोबिया को कैसे हटाते हैं?
पहले बल क्या है, ऐसी बात है कि फोबिया पेरेंट्स ने ही क्रिएट किया है. स्कूल में जाने के पहले ही लोग कहते हैं मैथमेटिक्स इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट.
Very true. Very
Actually,
true.
students, they haven't introduced mathematics at the age of 4 or 5. And if teacher remove that phobia, and if you create the interest, then mathematics is not only the interesting subject, but the simplest subject also.
Correct. Absolutely, absolutely correct, sir. I think you're very right. I think the way parents and everyone in society also speaks about math should change. Only then the attitude towards math can change in children. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
Particularly activity.
Particularly?
Activity-based learning.
Yes,
activity-based learning.
Correct, correct.
Do it.
Correct.
Then you get understand.
Correct.
For understanding, simply listening and simply observing is not the enough way.
Correct.
If we do so, then it will be correct way.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely correct. So I think you're very right. That's the right thing. Approach to math should be activity based. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We are so honored to have you. With so many years, you have mentored and impacted so many educators. So we really respect and salute your efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I am being told that Mr. Srinivas is actually here with us. So sorry, Mr. Srinivas, that is my mistake. So please just give me a minute while I share the screen so we can go back and show. Yeah, let me bring back Mr. Srinivas in our. Okay. Yes, Mr. Srinivas Arogi of Nishita Degree College. Sir, congratulations, and I welcome you to address the audience. You can go ahead and please unmute yourself. Yes, sir, you can unmute and turn on your video now. You have access to do both. Yes. Yes, we can see you, sir.
Oh, okay, madam. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, all of you. Yeah, really, I feel very happy to have this kind of great opportunity from Learning Method. Really, I never expected to have this kind of great honor from Learning Method. Actually, I joined after a day also, but I'm very seriously attending. Why? Because by meeting new people, I can learn new things. By teaching for these 22 years, each and every day teaches something new for me also, by meeting new people and a new professor and new people and everything. Really, in my life, it's very special standing among these 10 people. I have gone through your complete information on online. Why you are giving, honoring all the people. Really, future India is in the hands of teachers. Why? Because they dream a lot and they have a lot of patience and would like to see change every day and every year, and would like to teach everything to the students in all the angles. Of course, they never bother about even their challenges. For example, technology. Now, how we are changing technology, how we are using technology nowadays. It's never bothered trying to learn to cope up with all these things, but providing comfortable life to the students matters a lot. So that's why I feel very happy to stand in front of you and in the 10 people. Thank you, and thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. We are honored to have this opportunity to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming. Extremely sorry we did not realize you are there, but you were there in the attendee. That's why I did not see you. But good that you messaged me, because then I was able to realize you're here. So thank
Okay,
you. Thank
okay.
you. It was nice that the audience was able to hear from you. And congratulations once again from Learning Matters. And we look forward to many interactions with you in the future.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
All right. So moving back, we are getting close to, yes, we did. We already spoke to Dr. Pradeep. Excellence in Teaching Science. Who does this award? What does this award mean? This is to recognize an educator who makes science come alive for their students. This educator helps their students make meaningful connections in their day-to-day life with science. This educator encourages, inspires students to become observers, experimenters, critical thinkers, and to learn from all of these different activities. And we're very, very happy to announce that the Excellence in Teaching Science goes to Miss Suchita Pal from St. Columbus School. I believe she is here with us. Miss Suchita, just a minute, ma'am. While there you are, ma'am. There you are. 1 minute, ma'am. Let me just bring up your video so that the audience can see you very clearly. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Your video has. There you are. Yes, yes. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you, and a very good evening to all. I begin with thanking the Almighty for blessing my professional life. My heartfelt thanks to my school fraternity at St. Columbus School, and especially our principal, Brother Larry Miranda, for nominating me for this award. I express my gratitude to the team from Learning Matters and for shortlisting me and for finding in me the science teacher you were looking for. When I walk down memory lane, images of students laughing, shouting, running conjure up my mind. There's fun, growth, learning, exploration, and unconditional love. And this is what has kept me going. Working with students, I felt young at heart. I felt energized. Each batch is so different. Pedagogy is changing. A new flavor is added to a school event. Blueprints of assignments are undergoing a transition. There's no scope for monotony. There's no stagnation. In fact, never a dull moment, and I cherish it all. Like any other profession, there are challenges in teaching as well. Accept change. Consider yourself a learner. Accept all roles of a teacher, and you will always sail smoothly. My personal mantra in these days of pandemic has been new normal calls for a new learning. We are all attending trainings, learning new tools. Well, thinking creatively and solving problems differently is the need of the hour to make our going easier. We're doing a great job, and I'm sure we'll build the future we dream of. Finally, after more than 22 years of teaching, as I stand before you with this honor bestowed on me, I'm humbled with this acknowledgement and recognition. I'm certain that it will fill me with a renewed sense of commitment and responsibility towards my profession, which has given me so much over the past 2 decades. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Learning Matters.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, it was wonderful. I really wanted to just pick on the points that you made about the commitment that educators have to their own learning, not just to the learning of their students. And unless you yourself relearn or unlearn or learn new things, then how will we genuinely allow our students to learn? So thank you so much for reminding us that kind of commitment is needed, not just in educators, but in all of us. So thank you so much for that. It's lovely to have you here. We're so glad you could join us. And Team Learning Matters looks forward to many more interactions with you in the future and to continue the process of collaboration with one another. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And with that, we will quickly move on. We have Just two categories to go to. Excellence in inclusive leadership. This award recognizes a principal or an educational leader who creates a positive culture of teaching learning, inspires students, staff, parents, and colleagues. This person is a role model for the entire institution and community. And the award goes to Ms. Zulekha Siddiqui of Anjuman-e-Islam Khatkate English Secondary School in Mumbai. I do not think that Ms. Zulekha is with us today, but I will quickly share a quick bio of her. She's the principal of Anjuman School since 2008. Her overall experience in education has been more than 15 years. Under her leadership, the school has won many awards, and she very specifically takes care to promote a focus on extracurricular activities for her students. She promotes equal education for all students from diverse backgrounds, including those from the economically weaker sections of our society and those with different needs or special needs. During the pandemic, at least 300 students were in danger of dropping out of school as their families could not afford the fees. But Ms. Zulekha took the initiative to make sure that schooling was not stopped for these students by bringing in funds and sponsors. She's also funded students from her own pocket and also believes in mentoring teachers and in helping in their career development. Congratulations, Ms. Zulekha. We really wish you could have been here to inspire the audience with your views. But hopefully we will have a future event where we will be able to hear from you. And that brings us to Outstanding Institution. What is this award all about? This recognizes an institution that has taken extraordinary efforts to keep both the learners and the teachers, the educators, sort of motivated and engaged. This is an institution that creates a culture of respect, of inclusion, of empathy, of positive attitude. This is also an institution that believes in not just in teaching students, but also in empowering their teachers and their educators, and takes steps to do that. And the winner in this category is Ummeed. Just to tell you about Ummeed, Ummeed is a community center started by young students in the year 2016. Their aim is to provide holistic development of children who come from the underprivileged sections of our society. The organization works on different sectors such as education, social awareness, developing leadership qualities, which is critical, and building confidence, even more critical, among these children who come from these economically disadvantaged families. The students actively participate in programs such as donating books to the needy, conducting short-term courses, engaging in extracurricular activities, and many more to impart education at every level possible. And I believe we have Ms. Ketaki here from Ummeed. Ms. Ketaki, just give me 1 second. I also see that Ms. Zulekha is here. Okay, Ms. Zulekha, I do see that you're here. You're also in the attendees. Just give me 2 minutes, ma'am. We'll speak to Ketaki first, and then we'll quickly come to you. Okay. There you go, Ketaki. I have just promoted you as a panelist. And Ms. Zulekha, I've done that with you as well. So, Ketaki, if you can go ahead and unmute yourself and start your video. Just give me a second to find you. There you are. Okay. Hang on 1 second, Ketaki. Okay. All right.
Perfect. Am I audible enough?
Yes, yes, you're very much audible. Go ahead, Ms. Ketaki.
Perfect. Yeah. Firstly, hello to my kids who are present here. Very, very happy to have them here, and also namaste to everyone else. Myself, Ketaki, one of the members of this Ummeed family. I would like to start off with thanking you, Learning Matters, for holding this space and having Dr. Iyer here, because it was extremely inspiring conversation. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure my kids are gonna have a definitely good conversation about that. Looking forward to that as well. About Ummeed, thank you for a wonderful whatever you said about Umeed. And so when I was going through the mail and I read the couple of questions you people have sent, when I was reflecting back, I remember, so we people started it in 2016 thinking that we want to work for the people of Vadgaon, the community where our community center is currently. And then when I was reflecting, I realized now it is no more for the people. We are working with the people of Vadgaon Budruk. Right from kids to their parents, to the teachers, to the principal, to even peon, to even corporator of the community, every single one. These different stakeholders are part of our process, our journey as well. So that being said, one of the questions was also about what motivates us, right? And I remember talking to Jay about I hope he's here. Talking to him about, Jay, for me, it has been these kids and people, because you just have to be there with them, and trust me, they themselves kind of bring such good positive energy that no more you will feel that there is a big kind of challenge in front of you or an adversity that you might need to do a lot of things to get over with. Like for example, if I have to personify what I'm saying, it's just we saw Ayush's response that he had shared with you guys, right? He's one of our kids, and yeah. And then no more, I was like, Ayush, thank you so much. I no more need to give the answer to the question that what motivates us. It's our kids and the people that we work with. So that's that. About challenges, yes, definitely. Because when we started working, it was majorly working around kids with their academics, but along the way we realized that there is a saying also that it takes a village to raise a child. And then we realized kids are probably just a small puzzle piece of this whole big puzzle, and probably there are other few pieces that we need to as well fix along the way. And there's no two ways about how important teacher's role in any kid's life. May it be academic, may it be his holistic development. As Dr. Iyer, as all she herself is such a, as you said, breathing example of whatever we are currently talking about. And that's when we decided that we will work with not only kids, but all the supporting factors that kids need to have as their ecosystem to grow and nurture in this society currently. So that's what we are currently working. Also, thank you so much to you people, you family of Learning Matters, because we are truly humbled. Now I know when how a child must be feeling when we pat his or her back. That's how probably I and Jay are feeling currently. So it's just so wonderful. So thank you. We are truly humbled. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I think everything that you said about working with children and what is it that makes us take a step forward every day in continuing our work with children is seeing the happiness when they realize their own potential and they're able to go forward with that. And that's such a lovely coincidence. I think we did not realize that Ayush is from Umeed, but I know that's fantastic. So when you said that, I was like, that's amazing. Whatever he had shared was so heartfelt. It came from his heart and soul, and we just we could immediately identify with that. So I think it's amazing. We need more organizations, like how we believe that more organizations need to work with teachers and enable them with educators. I think it's what you're doing, what Umeed is doing is also very critical. Working with these children, these young adults, right, who need that direction and that someone to believe in them and show them how to believe in themselves. So and love the name of your organization. What is life without Umeed, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful, and thank you so much for being here. And we will look forward to many ways of collaborating with you.
Absolutely. Please come down to our center anytime.
We definitely will do that. And Yes, so I look forward to catching up with you offline as well, Ketaki. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming. Yes. Oh, thank you, Aditi. Aditi says all of you are invited to me.
Yeah. She's also one of our kids.
Yes, I know. She's put it in her thing and she's been so active on chat. So thank you, Aditi, for being so enthusiastic and active. Thank you, Ketaki, for coming and representing.
Thank you, Saraswati. Thank you. Yeah.
And we will move on to Miss Zulekha. Miss there you are, ma'am. 1 second. Let me just. Yes, thank you. You're welcome, Jay. Yes, Miss Zulekha. Thank you so much for coming. Sorry, I did not know you were in the attendees, but we're so glad to have you here. Yes.
Thank you so much. And first of all, a very good evening to everyone. I'm Mrs. Zulekha Siddiqui, principal from Anjuman Islam School at Vashi, which is in Navi Mumbai. And on the onset, I would like to express my gratitude to Learning Matters Star Award for honoring me with this Excellence in Inclusive Leadership Award. And there is a very thin line between literacy and education. I believe that education touches the soul. And this is the only profession which keeps us connected with the younger generation. And we can do so much with them. It gives us an opportunity to touch their lives. Besides, I with the children, not only do I teach them, but also I get to learn a lot from them. I feel there are a lot of challenges, and these are all part and parcel of life. And last 1.5 years has been the most challenging for all of us, especially for the educators and for the school. There were a lot of challenges, but then we have faced it all very bravely. So I think we all can give a pat on our back. And these challenging situations actually bring out the best in us. We don't even know what is there and what more we can do. But such challenging situations really make us, show our true colors. These are the testing times. And I always believe that there is a solution to every problem. There is no problem that has no solution. And it is doing whatever you can. And in these trying times, I had a very good team of teachers, because for every organization, a good team, an efficient team is very important. And I proudly say that I have a very hardworking and dedicated team of teachers, teaching as well as non-teaching staff, who are always there to support me in all my endeavors. And we make sure that the teachers are always, updated with the latest trends in the education. We organize lots of training sessions for them so that they are well versed and they are well prepared to make teaching, learning, and enriching experience both for themselves as well as the children. And having been involved in the field of education for over 2 decades, each award has a special place in my heart. It is not that I have worked recognizes your efforts and motivates me, to continue working towards my goal. And I would like to thank Learning Matters Star Educator Award 2021 for having thought of me as being worthy of Excellence in Inclusive Leadership Award. And I was really impressed by the methodology that was used in shortlisting the winners. It really gives the credibility to the award. So once again, I would like to thank you very much and stay blessed.
Thank you so much. We are so glad that you are here. The work that you do at your school is truly inspirational, and all these stories need to be told. And you're very right, there are so many out there who are doing such incredible work. It's just our humble effort to show the world the efforts of few such exceptional individuals. And I really like what you said about how how the team matters, and how you are very proud of your strong team that you have with you. And I think mentoring a team is also very important. So we need to invest time in mentoring our teachers as well, to genuinely become strong educators. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us, and we will look forward to more interactions with you in the future. Congratulations again. Thank you. All right. And, after listening to Mrs. Zulekha and Ms. Ketaki, I think it's so apt that we're ending the evening on the word Umeed. Hope is everything. Hope is what drives us forward. Hope is everything. So, and on that note, a very, very advanced, heartfelt Happy Teachers Day to every single educator out there from the Learning Matters family. Your work is truly, truly challenging. We respect you. We salute you for all that we do, all that you do. And we are here to support and enable all educational institutions with the right support that you need. And on behalf of the entire Learning Matters family, I would like to thank every single one of you that spent these last 2 hours with us. And we thank you so much. If you would like to reach out to us for any reason at all, you have questions, you would like to find out more about what we do, that is our email ID, contact@learningmatters.xyz, and our website is learningmatters.xyz. Please do reach out to us. We would love to collaborate in any way possible with any school or any college, any higher ed institution out there. That is what we do. So once again, on behalf of Team Learning Matters, I thank you all, wish you all a very happy Teachers Day and a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you so much, and a very big congratulations to all of the winners, and huge, much love and appreciation and respect from the Learning Matters family to all educators out there. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. And we hope to see you all again in very soon in our next event. We have a lot of webinars that we conduct. We do a lot of events for schools and for teachers. So please do look us up on learningmatters.xyz or send us an email. We'd love to tell you more. We'd love to see you at all of them. Thank you so much. Namaste.